Qamar, we can start now. We are live on Facebook and we are recording, so we're all set.
Am I audible?
Yep, perfect.
Okay. Thank you and welcome everybody. This webinar series is a part of our learning cohort designed with the, so can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Hello. Namaste and warm greetings to everybody who have joined us today. I would like to take a moment to welcome you all to yet another virtual webinar series of the Dignified Menstruation organized by the Global South Coalition for Dignified Menstruation. My name is Qamar Naseem. I'm from Pakistan. I'm here on the behalf of the GSCDM Secretariat, and I'm part of the steering committee. As you all know that the Global South Coalition for the Dignified Menstruation is a survivor-led network which was established back in 2019 to amplify and strengthen the advocacy of the dignified menstruation globally and leading to the movement that emerged from the Global South. And you're all aware that the coalition brings together activists, researchers, policymakers, youth leaders, and community organizations across regions to challenge menstrual discrimination. So, to know more about the Global Coalition for Dignified Menstruation, I will encourage you to visit the website www.dignifiedmenstruation.org and the official social media pages and the other channels. This webinar is a series. This webinar is part of our learning cohort design within the Sang SPS project to create a feminist, inclusive, and political learning ecosystem, which is centered on dismantling menstrual discrimination and promoting dignified menstruation globally. This project is supported by AFD along with 4 implementing other partners, Equipop, FOS Feminista, PSI Europe, and the GSCDM itself. So before we beginning, would love who is joining us today. So I'll encourage you to write your name and organization and from where you're joining in the chat box. As you know, the theme is menstrual talk and dignity first. And today is basically the International Day for Dignified Menstrual Health. And we want to connect this webinar with the topic. And this particular webinar is basically organized with an objective to create an open and inclusive platform for dialogue and menstruation by encouraging conversation that center dignity, respect, and inclusion. And also, we aim to raise awareness on menstrual discrimination, stigma, and silence, and how this affect the everyday lives and well-being of those who menstruate. To share experience, perspective, and practical approaches for promoting dignified menstruation with communities, institutions, and advocacy spaces. So this seminar, it's going to take a 60 minutes seminar, and the language is, as you know, is English, but we have interpretations from French and Spanish. So we have a lovely 2 panelists with us, Camille and Magdalee. I would give an opportunity for both of them to briefly introduce themselves before we begin with the conversation. Yes, Camille, would you like to introduce yourself briefly?
Yes, thank you, Qamar. Hi, everyone. I'm Camille Escudero. I'm the founder of Lily of the Valley. We are a femtech pioneer from the Philippines. We have impacted over 21,000 women and girls, menstruators throughout the Philippines through our innovative products and education programs. We are the first in Asia to create menstrual and intimate wear for transgender men and gender diverse individuals assigned female at birth. I'm so excited to be in this panel, and I'd love to hear questions from you later. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for joining. Yes, Magdalee, can you please introduce yourself?
Yes. Hi, everyone. My name is Magdalee Brunache. I'm the founder of Ayiti, which is an organization working on menstrual dignity and against menstrual poverty. In Haiti, we worked with menstruators through education at schools and displaced camps and in different contexts as well as in the rural areas. We also educate men and young boys since we believe that non-menstruators are also part of the conversation. So we've been working for about 6 years now and implementing a variety of projects at the moment. I'm really happy to be on this panel today and looking forward to the conversation.
Thank you very much for joining, and probably there will be a lot more people who are listening to both of the lovely panelists on the Facebook and other social media channels. So my opening question for the both of the panelists today is that since we mark the Menstrual Hygiene Day today, the theme for the today discussion is menstrual talk, the dignity first. Why do you think this conversation around the menstruation are still difficult in many societies? And what does a dignity-centered approach of menstruation means to you? Because we see there's a lot of happenings today on the social media. There's a lot of activities around the world, but not all of them are looking into this issue from the dignity-centered approach. So what do you think the dignity-centered approach is for you? My question is for both of you. Anybody could go first.
I can start. Yes, definitely. It is a topic that's still very difficult to talk about. There is a long history of silence surrounding the topic of menstruation, and it is a silence that is actively produced and reproduced. So it is enforced in so many different contexts, so at school, at work, in the family. So we worked a lot with young girls, and a lot of the testimonies we received surrounding the very first experience of having their periods and the kind of language that's often used and how it is already a language centered around bodily control, around shame, around this is something that you need to hide, this is something you cannot bring up to, men in your environment. This is something you cannot talk about publicly. If you're using any kind of menstrual products, it should be hidden. So this is a silence that is enforced and that is learned from a very young age by menstruators, and that's the case in Haiti and in so many other contexts. So even challenging that is difficult. So when we started even having those kind of conversations, we did not necessarily have people who were like willing to listen to that or who did not diminish the importance of having this kind of conversation. Because in a lot of ways, when something has been perpetuated for so long, it ends up feeling somewhat natural. So many people believe that the menstrual silence is not the natural way of things and are not willing to necessarily challenge that. So to open that conversation, so in Ayiti, stated mission is really to turn menstruation into a public discussion, that it's not something that's personal, it's not something that menstruators need to manage individually when there are systems that keep them from experiencing their periodic dignity. And using that dignity lens has been really useful because otherwise you end up talking about menstrual hygiene. In a lot of cases, people already believe that menstruation is dirty or impure. So like an hygiene or purely health-centered framework tend to inadvertently sort of support those perspectives. So it's important to move away from that and sort of seeing how it is a matter of having, access to the necessary products. It is a matter of having access to water, sanitation, and good environment to be able to experience menstruation in good condition. It is a matter of having equal access to education, to work opportunities, to any kind of economic opportunities one might be able to get, and to also adopt this sort of lifelong perspectives about menstruation. So in a lot of ways, having that dignity language has been extremely helpful in our context as well.
Thank you. Thank you for putting it so clearly and for making us understand how do you think about it. Camille, would you like to contribute?
Yes, thank you so much, Qamar. Firstly, I'm honored to share this space with my fellow advocates, all of you, our civil society organizations and social entrepreneurs across the 𝐂𝐞𝐥𝐞𝐿 Partners and Global South Coalition for Dignified Menstruation Networks. And because we are a cohort of practitioners who live and breathe this advocacy daily, we know the experience, and Magdalee earlier shared with us a lot of those barriers that um, we're struggling to challenge. And as an expert network, we already know why conversations around menstruation remain stuck. And it's because most of the world still treats menstruation as a deeply private issue, women only. It's a liability that must be hidden. But within our own network, our challenge could be completely different. For us, putting dignity first means we must ensure that our advocacy doesn't accidentally create new layers of exclusions. I believe true health equity and absolute dignity are achieved when an individual with a physical or developmental disability, or an individual who doesn't identify as a woman but has a uterus or and ovaries, walks into a public health center and receives unbiased, comprehensive, competent, and respectful care by default. Dignity means that we, as experts in our fields, build systems where marginalized menstruators don't have to fight for specialized accommodations. Universal inclusivity must be the default setting of our programs, our product designs, our infrastructure, our healthcare systems, and most importantly, our public policies. Dignity first means we stop asking systems to tolerate menstruation, and that we demand that these systems be structurally built around our menstrual health.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And Camille, you're doing something amazing. You're pioneering a unique framework with our network by connecting menstrual management with the economic growth and empowerment. How does this reframing of the menstruation as a vital biomaker change or leverage with the business sector and workplace sustainability?
Thank you for asking that question. When we intentionally bring the conversation of dignified menstruation into the professional and corporate spaces, we are introducing a new frontier for them, but also for our collective movement. Currently, the primary barrier we face with corporate leaders is that menstrual health is still seen as an operational extra, as something that's relegated to human resource accommodations, a compliance cost, a CSR, or corporate social responsibility charity. And we need to expand our movement's leverage by learning to speak the language of the structures that control global capital. I believe, our collective task as a network is to introduce a new paradigm shift. We must educate the private sector to recognize that menstruation is a vital biological biomarker, and that menstrual health is a fundamental driver for workforce sustainability, because that directly impacts business resilience and global economic growth. I want to take a moment and ask the people here in the call, the people from our network, can you type in the chat, yes, if your current programs successfully bring in the private sector or corporate leaders or finance leaders. And type no if your primary partners remain strictly with civil society and the national or local government. So just yes or no. I'm seeing one no. Thank you, Sharmila. All right, well, just have a think on that, right? Have a think on that question. Because when we talk about business resilience and economic development, we're, I believe, we're fundamentally talking about the health, optimization, and sustainability of human capital, which is um, a factor for businesses and the industry, right? It's the machine, it's the driver of businesses. So if a business operates within a framework where baseline biology, which is menstruation, right? I refer to it as baseline biology because it's our first entry to understanding the female body, menstruation, right? And so when that is ignored, stigmatized, or treated as an invisible hidden cost, that business ultimately suffers from productivity loss, from workplace absenteeism, from experienced talent prematurely leaving the workplace. Now, I'm not just saying this just for the sake of saying it. There has been studies by Deloitte, by uh, the World Economic Forum, by Magdalee Health Institute that validates this. Menstrual discrimination in the workplace is a direct outcome of unequal power relations and structural patriarchy, and it actively sabotages economic growth. Therefore, when we reframe menstruation as a vital biomarker, we permanently shift the conversation from charity to human infrastructure. And that's what we want the business sector and the investment sector to see health and treat menstruators as a hard corporate asset so that we gain that political and economic leverage required to change policy, right? And to make that systemic change. So civil society and advocacy groups, you can't achieve the systemic shift in isolation. All groups must work hand in hand with the corporate and business sectors to co-create these structural shifts. And by teaching corporate leaders that prioritizing the health of menstruators directly improves business resilience, we turn corporate policy into a powerful catalyst for national legislative change. And when our ecosystem activators, that's all of us together, present the economic data with dignity, we change our collective advocacy from asking for corporate favors to building true economic resilience. This is a reality, I believe, we are realizing in the Philippines, but in other countries, maybe your strategic partner could be the state or local government. But the point is, we can't do it alone.
Okay, great. Before we could move to Magdalee, so one small question which I want to ask you before, because whenever you was talking, is there any case study or example to support whatever you are saying? Is there any country or is there any example which could be presented to the world and to the other activists who are working in their countries? Is there any specific documenting examples in support of whatever you said, just shared with us? Can you hear me? Camille, can you hear me?
Oh, I thought you were calling on Magdalee.
No, no. I before I just move to her, I just want to ask you that you have whatever you have just shared with the with us, and which is very important. Is this documented? Is there an example or case study which could be presented to the activists around the world who could use this as an example?
You know what? I haven't seen one yet. However, there is a group in Hong Kong, Good Period, who is now working with big financial corporations and even Hong Kong MRT, and um, they're they seem to be they seem to have gotten a good recipe because to have been able to get these big finance corporations to purchase period products to have menstrual health talks within their company, including having male champions, male leaders who are championing this movement, it's possible. So yes, it's
Yeah,
working in that small space, and I'm excited to bring it, to replicate it.
thank you very much. And Megadale, uh, since you work in Haiti and focus on menstrual dignity and feminist responses to structural inequality, how do stigma and unequal power relationship the everyday experience of menstruator in communities facing social economic challenges?
Thank you so much, Kamal, for the question. Yes, so as I was mentioning earlier, the sort of like silence and stigma surrounding menstruation is not without consequences. I mean, we can, think of the direct sort of social and psychological impact that it may have, but it sort of reaches beyond that because the stigma associated to menstruation a lot of the time means that um, menstruators are forced to sort of not asking for what they need or not having access to the help and support that they might require. So be it the health needs or with menstruators who are at school, like having access to the products and being able to raise um, the demand essentially to their school is not something that is easily done, especially because they've learned that this is something that needs to be hidden, that they cannot talk about. So my organization, Ayiti, we are currently implementing a project that is founded by First Minister through the AFD. And through that, we are working inside the displaced sites in Haiti, where a number of like menstruators are living in very difficult situations. So it's very precarious. There is a huge lack of intimacy or access to safe like water and sanitation services. Um, but in those contexts as well, just mentioning that they need these products or raising those concerns to the humanitarian organizations that are coming to intervene in those contexts and beyond, it can be extremely difficult. And a lot of the time we were told, and when we once study, we did a survey with over 300 menstruators and those display sites, and they really reveal how deep-rooted the stigma is. So a lot of them, for example, will try to have some kind of economic activity while being displaced of by maybe selling food and whatnot, would say that people would refuse to buy food from them if they know that they are menstruating. And so that means that's a direct impact on their economic activity and their possibility of actually being able to earn an income. And what we've also seen is that a lot of the time they also end up maybe using products for far too long because they don't have access to them, and they cannot oftentimes raise those concerns to the leaderships of those sites because a lot of the time those leadership are men, and that makes it difficult to even have those conversations in the first place. So they end up keeping products on for too long, which has really dire consequences on their health, or they withdraw from social activities because they know how intense the stigma is, and if anyone knows that they are menstruating, they are directly excluded or discriminated against or mistreated in some ways. So it has been a really so we see that with the display site, we see that in schools where a lot of the younger menstruators we've talked to would explain how they would get the other student administrators in those contexts would make fun of them or insult them if it's known that they're on their period. So if they have to carry any kind of menstrual products, they need to keep it hidden, because if it's seen, then they become the target of discriminatory attacks. And again, there is the unequal power relationship that exists in general within society. So we're working as well in rural areas, and what we've been told by some of our partners there is how for a lot of women in those contexts, they are at times not allowed to work. So in some families where there is not where for women, the husbands might not want them to work, for example. So that means that they don't have like a personal source of income, which means they're dependent on someone else to access the menstrual products they need. And it's very difficult to raise those demands, and those demands can be used against them as to abuse them in some ways. And we've also seen within the context of the displaced sites, so we can definitely link, menstrual poverty to gender-based violence, wherein the difficulty of accessing the products, not having the means to afford those products, means that a lot of the time, menstruators become vulnerable to gender-based violence too. For example, people offering to give them the products they need in exchange of sexual favors. So that is something that is very worrisome. It has to do with the kind of unequal power relationships that exist, where the people who needs to be able to manage their period with dignity don't have a say over how their environment is structured, over the kind of help that they are receiving. So in the displaced sites where we're working, we do have a lot of humanitarian organizations intervening there, but it's not always that they integrate menstrual dignity as part of the support that they are providing. So that means a lot of the time the menstruators there have no say in the kind of support they're getting, and those that are not addressed because the leadership of the sites or the one raising those demands to humanitarian organizations won't necessarily mention menstrual dignity as a concern. So not having power over defining, the humanitarian priorities, the kind of help that is provided is something that makes it also very difficult for menstruators in those contexts to experience their menstruation with dignity. And we also have in those contexts a lot of people who suffers from some kind of disability, and it's something that is completely invisible from policies, from humanitarian actions. So there is a lot to be done at so many different levels of society, Tabianati, just to address those questions of stigma and power relationships. So we really see when we're talking about menstruation that it is not just a health issue. It's not, we do a lot of awareness raising and education, and this is important, and education is definitely important to address stigma, but we do also have to recognize that the stigma plays a role for it serves patriarchy in a way, because it silences women, it isolates them, it keeps them away from economic and political opportunities, saying that women are too emotional to be in politics, which apply a lot of time to feminist body in general, makes it gives a way to keep them out of the spheres where they would have the kind of real power that would allow them to actually change the situation, or vote for policies that could make a difference. So we are really trying in our work to combine all those different aspects. So we do have like a panel that's happening tomorrow, where we bring in different organizations, including those working on women's political participations, because we see all of those aspects as connected, and how necessary it is to act on those different fronts at the same time.
Thank you very much. And Camille, one particular thing, fantastic thing, which I have learned recently, and which I'm interestingly learning, is inclusive language to the menstrual dignity. Recently, I was talking to in one of a seminar, and then there were people who also works on the issue of menstrual health. But even they have challenged the word. They have challenged the word menstruator and non-menstruators. So this guide to the inclusive language for menstrual dignity launched at the Dignified Menstruation Conference last December, which we think is a very powerful tool for our network. What do you think? How does expanding our languages architecture to include other segments of society, including, like trans men and people with disability, redefine what menstrual talk actually means for all of us? Camille? Camille?
Yes. Thank you, Qamar. When we launched our guide to inclusive language for menstrual dignity, as you said at last December's Dignified Menstruation Conference, so we distributed guides designed to help advocates and corporate leaders shift away from medicalized or stigmatized jargon toward neutral, factual terms. I have to tell you, of course, even though we have this toolkit, sometimes I have to catch myself too, right? And that's just the beauty of it. We awareness is the key, and then we check ourselves, right? But what I wanted to share was during that conference, an 8-year-old boy, I think he was 8, or he could be 10. It was he 10? Or I forgot how he was young.
Somewhere between 8 to 10, I guess.
Yeah. So he approached me and proudly showed me our conference, our guide. So it looks like this. And he proudly showed it to me, getting it from his pocket. And he told me that he would keep it and cherish it. And for me, that small cross-generational moment validated that the next generation is not attached to the old discriminatory binaries. They are ready for a narrative that's centered on universal dignity. Um, if any of you guys want to print and use your own copies, I'll put a link in the chat so that you can access it. But what I also wanted to share is that um, for us to achieve, the theme of menstrual talk dignity first, we should also take a step back and examine the literal structure of talk. How do we talk? Language is a reflection of culture, but it's also the foundational architecture of our societies. The specific words we choose in our policy drafts, in our boardrooms, in our daily advocacy. Those words dictate exactly who is protected and who is left entirely visible. So if our legal and operational language remains strictly binary, then, consequently, our public health systems, our product designs, our corporate policies will also remain binary. And so it excludes um, uh, gender diverse individuals from basic care. This is why using precise, dignified language, such as, intentionally utilizing the term menstruators, which I know earlier I had forgotten, or replacing stigmatizing jargon like feminine hygiene with menstrual products. It's not being politically correct. It is structural accuracy and it's human rights. And I believe, or I want to share that our work in co-designing and co-creating, specialized menstrual wear for the transgender men has proven that true dignity requires designing for the whole person, that we address psychological safety and dysphoria alongside physical flow. Dignity is action, and it is realized when our ecosystem activators, this includes us, our corporate executives, our investors, our policymakers, state their cases with dignity, move with dignity, speak using dignified, inclusive language by default. And when this expression becomes authentic, we shift our movement, our global movement, from being mere consultative into true revolutionary co-creation.
Thank you very much. And I think, with this inclusive language, uh, so many people within the movement also feel challenged. But I think that it is the right time to challenge it, because the inclusive language really matters. So, Magdalee, I have a question for you. The grassroots and community-led initiatives, which often creates powerful social change, from your experience, what are some practical ways communities, including schools, workplaces, and institutions, can normalize respectful conversation around menstruation? Could you also share an example of how your community engagement or feminist organizing help challenge menstrual discrimination in your context?
Yeah, thank you so much, Qamar. Yeah, I think before really like diving into this, it's important to sort of talk about how, in Ayiti and what it means for us to approach this question of menstrual dignity through a feminist lens. And essentially, that means in the first place, sort of seeing menstruation as the question of dignity. It's about justice and health, education, and about power, as we've talked about earlier, but sort of seeing how menstrual experiences are not unique. So they are shaped by gender inequality, poverty, the class, social and your geography. So each individual experience can be unique depending on where you are located socially. And that is something that's important to take into account, because that means our approaches, our solutions, our advocacy needs to be adapted to sort of be responsive to those different needs and experiences. And another way that we see this work as feminists is by creating spaces for administrators to talk about their own experience, and seeing and really emphasizing the fact that they are experts of their own experiences. So a few months ago, we had like a talking space for menstruators, and that was really the central message of it, or invitation, that if you have experience in menstruation, you concerns by that, you can join this space. And it's not a webinar, it's not a training. We see that you are the expert of your own experience. You can just come and talk about what that experience was, at home, at school, growing up, like experiencing menstruation for the first time and whatnot. And it was such a powerful moment and a powerful space. So we had so many people show up and share those experiences, talking about menstrual pains, talking about the discrimination, the stigma, but also the solidarity, because that's something that also needs to be part of the conversations. How much it is also a space of solidarity. It is, when you don't have a menstrual product, that you'll find support, from, other menstruators or non-menstruators at time, who can also, who have those products in hand and can provide them, or who also take actions to really challenge the issue at a structural level. So that that's the importance of seeing the expertise that people have to their own lived experiences. And one of the projects that we are implementing soon will be to really look at the wealth of knowledge that people have on the topic, because of course there's research, there's scientific data that we can bring to them, but they've experienced it. They have knowledge about what kind of food, what kind of tea they should have and whatnot. That is also important. That is also important knowledge that needs to be part of the conversation, and we will really try to engage with those with the knowledge that's already there, instead of seeing ourselves as an organization as the ones that are bringing knowledge to the people we are working with. And another aspect is a concrete way to really challenge menstrual discrimination in our society and really promote menstrual dignity, is to really have non-menstruators be part of the conversation, like really engage them. And we do that by sort of having training. We had a recent training for men. So I was talking earlier about the leadership of those displaced sites. So we actually had a 2-day training with them to actually explain to them, what's menstrual dignity and how they can really support actions and policies in favor of menstruation and those display sites. And that has been really like productive. So they had a lot of questions, like a lot of the concepts and ideas were new, but there was a lot of openness and responsiveness from many members of these groups that we've worked with. And what we've also been doing, so like the coach was also mentioning, what can be done at the level of schools. And one important thing, the way we see it, is to have open conversations about menstrual dignity, about the experiences of menstruators from early on. So it shouldn't be just a one-time conversation. There should be, proper education that is integrated within the curriculum, and it starts quite early on because people are having menstruation as early as 8-year-old. So that means that's a conversation that needs to happen as early as possible, and that needs to continue over time, and that needs to include both menstruators and non-menstruators. Right now in Haiti, that's not yet the case. We don't hear about menstruation at schools, but at Reg Ayiti, we're really trying to change that. We've been working in many schools where we have conversations with menstruators and menstruators, but we don't stop at just, giving that training information. What we also do is having that space of solidarity. So we've started having those kiosks, we call them, at the schools where we put menstrual products as well as, brochures and information leaflets that they can access. And we are aware of the power dynamics there. So it's also not left to the school administration to manage. We actually engage students themselves and managing those kiosks, making sure there's enough product, replacing them if needed, with our support, but also through solidarity as well, to make sure that, if someone is at school and experiencing the need for menstrual product, they can access them. And of course, that doesn't replace, broader, policy at the level of schools, at the level of the education system, but it makes a difference in the sense that it gets a conversation started. It responds to an immediate need, but also gets a conversation started about the experiences of menstruators missing schools because they don't have products, because they're scared of being made fun of. That's like a visible symbol that menstruation is important. We need to talk about it. We need to have the products there, and that's something that we've started doing in like a few schools already in the capital city, and we hope to expand more in other parts. And I guess finally, what I would say is that we are having, so in 2 days, we're having a menstrual fair. So that's actually, we're investing in a public space, a public park, where we're going to have a fair that's fully centered on menstruation. So we're working with many other feminist organizations in Haiti to make it happen. And this is something that's been a dream for me and for us at Reg Haiti, because as we were saying, menstruation has been treated as the private topic, a secret. What better way to challenge that than to actually invest the public space, to take over the public space and have a conversation about it? So we'll have a whole day of events fully centered around menstruation and fully open to the public.
Thank you very much. This discussion was so interesting. I didn't want to stop both of you, but now we are coming to an end. I still have two questions, and then we might have some comments from the participant as well. So briefly, Camille, looking towards the future of our collective advocacy, how can then the creation of dignified menstruation into the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, do you think, serve as a tool to unlock capital funds and private sector leadership? Camille?
Yes, thank you. Yeah. So, our advocacy is heavily validated by the Kathmandu Declaration. Remember during the Unified Administration Conference, um, the Kathmandu Declaration explicitly integrates the dignified menstruation framework into 9 of the UN SDGs. It included decent work, quality education, and economic growth. And this framework proves to global markets and international stakeholders that our work is not a niche health issue, that it is a cross-cutting development priority. And for us as a cohort of innovators and leaders, our responsibility now should be to use innovation, policy, and leadership to build these alliances between grassroots advocates, the technology sector, the corporate and finance sectors. And to scale national policy, global policy, we must bring capital funds and the investment sector directly into the room. And when we align the grassroots data with economic metrics, we create an undeniable case for dignified menstruation. And so it's where it's important that we treat menstrual dignity as an economic baseline where policy becomes a natural outcome of good leadership. Uh, this is, I mean, it's a whole discussion in itself. But the innovation space, we have to make sure that it doesn't become just uh, something for the affluent demographic, because I believe that true innovation should center on solving those complex systemic exclusions, to actively dismantle unequal power imbalances. And so, um, I guess my message to everyone, my invitation to everyone here is that, join this global shift, look critically at the structures you control, and invite those, the private sector, the finance sector, investment sector, to see menstruation as a biomarker and menstrual health as a driver for workplace sustainability, therefore business resilience and global economic growth. And I believe that we can build a future where every single body can thrive with dignity. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. That is very insightful. Magdalee, my last question for you is there, and that is something which the entire coalition and all of us trying to do. From your perspective, how can dignified menstruation be connected to the broader struggle for human rights, gender justice, and social equality? And I think this is the pressing and which is the most important topic for the today in the movement. How do you feel about it? What are your learning and feedback on this?
Thank you so much. Yes, that is a very important question, especially this is something we get a lot. A lot of the times, if you're working on topic that concern the feminist bodies, that concern women, you often get the pushback that this is an issue, focus on human rights as if this is not human rights and this is entirely separate field. So to actually have that conversation and show how it is actually connected to human rights and to social equality and gender equality has been like a challenge, but in the way that to have that openness from the public, because we do see the connections very clearly. And in our work, as I was talking about it earlier, in terms of working at those display sites in those contexts, it is so much visible how menstrual dignity is connected to safe wash and sanitation practices, having access to safe toilets, having access to those environments. So we are working in contexts where menstruators have to pay to be able to use the toilets in those contexts where they're living, and they are not often clean or safe, and they are still exposed to violence. So we cannot address menstrual dignity if we don't also address those, we don't also address the aspect of water access, sanitation, and whatnot. But and there's also the health dimension of it. If everyone has a right to good mental and physical health, how do we allow that people are experiencing menstrual pain and not having any recourse, not having access to the services they need? So that's a challenge, not that's something that attack their rights directly. So if we have the conversation, we need to also bring that element, how this is also affecting the right to health and it affects the right to education. So we're talking about menstruators who have to miss schools or fully drop out of schools because they don't have access to products. The schools don't have necessary products there. The environment is not conducive to allow them to have education. So that's an attempt to the right to equal education, to access to having access to social life. So these are different elements that we can bring forward. And even though menstrual dignity is not like fully recognized as a fundamental right by Haiti, but in a lot of context as well. But we do have recourses. We can bring, the Article 12 of the International Covenant on Economic, Social, and Cultural Rights, because it does say that everyone has a right to the highest attainable standard of physical and mental health. So this should not include anyone. This should not include people who happen to menstruate. So that's an important conversations we need to have as well about then how do we make sure that everybody can enjoy good physical and mental health even while they are menstruating. And we have covenant against discrimination on women, and we can also use this to be as tools to have that conversation and have a right-based discussion about menstrual dignity. So it is a matter of really making those connections because they exist and they are clear in terms of how menstrual dignity is about health, is about education, is about make them clear to policymakers, to founders, to anyone who has some kind of power to really change the structures. And that's what we're trying to do at the level of an organization, to really have a right-based discussion and to really show how much this is also of gender equity. It was calculated how much menstruation costs over a lifetime. And what we found is that it costs about 10% of, the lifetime revenue that people may have based on, the minimum wage we have in Haiti. So that's a huge cost. And that's something that keeps people back, that hold people back. So as Camille is talking about development, we cannot have inclusive development is if such a large part of the population is excluded from its social life, is having to bear such a heavy cost to manage a natural process. So we need to have those conversations and we need to show those connections as much as possible.
Thank you. Thank you very much. What a powerful discussion it was. And now, since we are coming to the end of the session, we have some participants, and I would want to open this discussion for any question or comments. So if you have any question or comments, I'll request you to keep it short, as we have around probably 7 to 8 minutes. So I'll request you to keep the question concise and short.
I guess we already have a raise of hands, Qamar.
Yeah, sure,
Jia,
please.
you may speak. Yeah.
Yes, I'm audible.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. This is Zia from Pakistan. I'm associated with Pakistan Village Development Program, and I also lead Insight Nexus, which is a consultancy firm working across Pakistan. Qamar, thank you for moderating, and my appreciation to Blue Veins and the respected speakers. I want to make one focus point. For me, the real issue is not only menstruation hygiene, the real issue is menstruation stigma and how that stigma affects dignity, mobility, education, work, health seeking behaviors, and participation in public life. When menstruation is treated as something shameful or secret, the impact is not limited to one girl's missing one school day. It affects her confidence, her body image, her interaction with family, her comfort in public spaces, and her ability to ask for support when she needs it. So I think our discussion needs to move from a supply-based approach to a dignity-based approach. Pads, washroom, and services are important, in my opinion, but they're not enough if the surrounding attitude still tells women and girls to remain silent. I also think language matters. In our context, especially in Pakistan and KP, Khyber Pakhtunkhwa is one of the provinces where I currently living. If the language is too imported or too technical for communities, it may create resistance instead of ownership. We need a framing that uh, in a way that protect dignity, reduce stigma, and still remains understandable for families, teachers, health workers, and community elders. I have two short questions. First, what practical models have worked in reducing menstruation stigma at household and community level, not just improving facilities or distributing supplies? Secondly, how do we measure dignity as an outcome? For example, do we have indicator around confidence, mobility, family support, reduce reduction, improve participation in more open communication between girls, mothers, teachers, and health workers? I think this is a very important conversation, and I think the real test is whether dignity becomes visible in daily life, not only in public language. Thank you, sir. Thank you for having me.
We only have 5 minutes, so please be brief.
One of the
Yeah.
things that, thank you for that question, Zia. And I appreciate that you shared what you shared. One thing that I would say, and what I feel has worked in some of the cases that I have seen, is enjoining the men and boys. When we teach boys respect and body literacy, not just for their own bodies, but and educating the girls at the same time, then they grow with that understanding that uh, okay, my body is um my own, and they develop their own agency. And when you have that agency, you're able to make decisions for your own health as you grow. And I feel, and what I've seen also is that when fathers and when the men are involved, um, the talk becomes normal, right? The discourse around menstruation becomes normal, and the stigma just goes away. And that's one case study that I know works. I'm sure there are others, but I believe that bringing in the the people who have the most seats at the table.
Is there another question, please? Still, we have some few minutes, so if there any comment or question?
Looks like there is a question.
Yeah, we do have a raise of hand again. Can you please open your mic and ask your question? Yeah.
Can I speak now, please?
We can hear you. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. So I have a question and a contribution. Just to add to what Camille has said about reducing stigma, I have a small charity where we support young girls with managing their periods. So what we do is that we involve boys in this outreach, not just educating them. We have young boys, teenage boys as period champions. So what does for us is that those we educate see people of their age bracket talking confidently about periods. At the end of every session and outreach, we are not just giving pads. We have boys asking for sanitary pads to take home to their sisters. Before the session, you find them not wanting to be involved in the conversation, but after the session, you see them wanting to be a part of it. And the next outreach, we've asked some of the boys saying they want to also speak. They don't just want to listen. They want to be part of those who give the talk. So that's the contribution I want to make with respect to what Zia said and to back up what Camille also said. Then the question I have for Magdalene, I'm not quite sure I got the right thing you said, right? But I think you said something about having, is it a store in schools where people can get parts from, something like that. So I'm asking this based on the fact that the last outreach and lots of the outreach we go to, we have teachers asking for sanitary pads. So if we have a store like that, I run my charity in Nigeria. how are you able to manage the process such that those who need the sanitary pads actually get it? Do you get what I mean? I don't know what country where this is done. I would like to know how you're able to manage that such that those who genuinely need the sanitary pads are able to have this product. If you have a store where you leave these pads for them to access when they need it. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you so much for the question. I work in Haiti, and that's what we do. So we do have like a stall, so essentially like baskets, but like we have the products there and the informational leaflets that are also left on site, and we do leave more products with the school administration while we have a number of them on display that can be accessed, by the way, by students. And we've chosen this approach because as you've said, there is a lot of challenge in implementing that. Because if you would, for example, only leave the products to school administration, there is a number of issues. So first of all, there is still some level of stigma that exists, or really internalized shame around menstrual needs. That means that the students may not necessarily be willing to go to the administration and ask for the products they need. We also, even though we try to really train the people really working in those contexts, it's not necessarily certain what kind of responses they might have at times. But what we've also seen, unfortunately, is that a lot of school administration market those products where they sell products
Yeah.
to students, even when those products are given to them for free for the benefits of these students. So if we are serious about really challenging like power dynamics, we have to take all of this into consideration, and we have to put those in need and control and in charge of the solution that we are implementing. So what we've done is, after those training sessions, we set up like a committee of students from different levels. So from different, class levels, where they work together through a committee. So that means students are aware that the products are there. They're not just left to the administration and then students have no idea. They know it's there. They are the ones managing it, so they are the ones of checking, okay, so do we have enough products? Do we need to go to the administration and have it replenished? So they are actually managing the supply, and then that means that they have some level of control. Of course, it's still in its early stages, so we don't know yet if there might be challenges that arise, if those power dynamics might still be still sort of affecting the situation. But from what we've seen so far, and it's something that we've implemented both in the capital city and rural area as well, in the south of the country, we also have that at a school, and it's been really helpful, just in terms of having those students take on that leadership, like having those conversation, and it serves in itself to really challenge the stigma around menstruation. So I think that's something that's worth implementing. So not just only working with administration, but working with students themselves, because they have the leadership and the capacity to manage this. And this is what we also do when we work at the display sites. We try as much as possible not to just give products to the leadership there, but to actually make sure it gets to the ends that it needs to get to. I hope
Thank
that
you.
answers your questions, and really good luck with implementing it.
Thank you very much. I think the time for the discussion is over for today. Thank you for your wonderful contributions. And today is the International Day for the Menstrual Health, and we've seen a lot of discussions. And we believe this discussions will continue. It's not the only just one day. It's the beginning of the new year. Until coming the next year, we'll make a lot of progress. We are clearly seeing a momentum, and I think that it needs to be converted into a movement for dignified menstruation and taken everybody on board, the menstruators, the non-menstruators, and everybody who is effective in the stakeholders. So thank you very much for organizing this workshop, to the Global South Coalition on Dignified Menstruation, and to our panelists. Thank you and stay safe.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.